When criminals get arrested by the police, most choose to beg their way out of it. But what happens when they choose to assault the cops instead? Here are 6 times where suspects decided to assault the cops and instantly regretted it. Starting with a dramatic case of this suspect who physically assaulted countless innocent civilians, tased an officer, and still believed he had done nothing wrong.
Hey, get off me! Flipped over!
On May the 10th of 2022, officers from the Bay County Sheriff's Office in Florida were called to a trespassing incident at the local zoo, where a dangerous individual had entered and was assaulting people on site.
469, step it up.
Jenny, the sheriff is here.
What's he wearing?
He's wearing a gray
The man initially claimed that he was looking for his wife, but when denied entry due to his lack of payment, he forcibly entered by assaulting a 75-year-old worker. He then attacked more staff members and guests in search of his allegedly missing wife, but as one would expect, there was no wife, and his actions were solely influenced by drugs. When the staff realized the danger the man was causing, they promptly called the police, and upon arrival, officers caught him in the act. However, when they attempted to approach him, the situation quickly turned messy, as he was determined to not leave the zoo without his imaginary wife.
Hey, we got one running! Taser! Taser! Get him!
Go ahead, shoot! Put your hands behind your back!
Stop! Stop!
Stop resisting!
While struggling with the police, the man suddenly seized a police gun and a taser, using the taser on a female officer, nearly injuring her.
Hey, get off me! Flipped over!
Stop! Cut that shit out!
Fortunately, he was quickly disarmed, but because of his drug-fueled superhuman strength, the officers had to call for backup to fully subdue him.
Stop resisting! Put your head behind your back! Cut that shit out, bro! What shit? What shit? Where my wife? He's not secure.
When he was eventually cuffed, EMTs were called in to provide medical treatment before transferring him to jail. And unsurprisingly, during treatment, it was discovered that the man was under the influence of various methamphetamines, cocaine, and benzodiazepines.
Off my radio, my body.
Dig it.
It looks like.
Dig it. He did a phenomenal job.
Man,
But he was running dead at you.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, I got it all.
Oh, you're gonna need to show that.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? I'm Deputy.
Hey, no!
I'm done.
No!
I'm done.
With that, he would be arrested and placed in jail, facing 6 counts of battery, 2 charges of resisting an officer, 1 charge of disorderly conduct, 1 charge of trespassing, and 1 charge of aggravated assault on an officer. He's now facing 3 years in prison. And while he's facing a huge amount of time behind bars, this next woman was extremely lucky to get off with a few consequences after driving under the influence and biting an officer.
You're gonna get a
Stop it! Sexual assault!
You're gonna get an additional.
Let me go! Let me go!
You're gonna get battery
Sexual
on
assault!
On December the 4th of 2022, a New Mexico police officer would be dispatched due to reports from multiple motorists about a blue car driving erratically and speeding on U.S. Highway 54. When the officer arrived on the highway, he promptly located the vehicle and approached to initiate a traffic stop. However, little did he know that this would be anything but a routine encounter. As the officer approached the vehicle, he had instructed the driver to stop, and she initially complied. However, just as the officer was about to exit his vehicle and begin questioning, the woman sped off once more, and the officer called in for backup as he continued to trail her.
10-4 vehicle just took off at a high rate of speed heading southbound. Too much traffic. I am not going to be in pursuit. Give that bolo to Tule PD, SO, and APD.
After following the car for a few minutes, the officer once again located it at a gas station and blocked the parking space to prevent escape. However, upon reaching the car, he found that the driver had gone inside the store to hide.
Hey man, who just walked in that car?
Bathroom.
When he eventually located her hiding inside the restroom, he announced his presence, leaving her with no opportunity to escape.
Come out of the stall and get out! Now!
I'm peeing.
Come out of the Get out here now! Get out! Get your fucking hands up!
Unfortunately for the officer, the intoxicated woman had zero intentions of going quietly, as she began violently resisting arrest, insisting that she had done nothing wrong.
Ow! Let me go! No!
Stand right here.
I didn't do
Stand right
anything.
here and
I
separate
didn't
your
do
feet.
anything.
Separate your feet.
I didn't do anything.
Separate your feet!
I didn't do anything. Woo!
The officer, unmoved by her pleas, had decided to call for backup and asserted that she would be going to jail.
I did not do anything.
Can you just hang on to her for a second, please? Yeah, you got it. Thank you.
Please let me go. Please let me go.
A few moments later, backup officers would arrive, and the woman identified herself as Jamie Granger. At first, she had refused to comply unless she could talk to her boyfriend, and eventually officers agreed to call him if she cooperated.
I did not do anything.
Okay.
Please let me go. I just want to call my boyfriend, please.
You're not calling anybody. The only place that you're going to go is to the jail. If you work with me, I'm going to work with you.
Let me call
Okay.
my boyfriend, please.
If I let you call your boyfriend, you're going to tell me who you are? Where's your phone?
It's. I think it's in my car right there.
Where?
Right, the blue car right behind.
Obviously
right
the blue car, but where in the blue car?
And I don't know, in the console, I think.
While helping her search for her phone, an officer would ask if she had consumed any alcohol, to which she had claimed she only had a little. But when he asked about reports from other drivers and why he had first pulled her over, she claimed not to have known that he was behind her.
Okay. So I noticed that while we were in the bathroom that I smelled a faint odor of alcohol coming from you. Have you had anything to drink today?
A little bit.
A little bit. Is that why you ran from me?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't
So
know
the
you were out.
the reason why I stopped you, okay, is because you were called in by several people, failing to maintain your lane and going head on with other cars. Okay.
Knowing this was a blatant lie, the officer immediately lost his patience, took her ID, placed her in the police car, and went to search for her phone inside of the store.
I'm gonna put you in the back of the car. Okay.
No, I just need my boyfriend.
Come on.
I just need my boyfriend, please.
After gaining sufficient evidence, the officer exited the store and walked towards her for more questioning, where he found that her phone had been with her all along, as it rang when her boyfriend had called.
There's your phone. Your phone's on you.
No, I don't have it.
I can hear it ringing.
I don't have it. I don't.
Well, I can hear it ringing.
Well, I don't. Oh, it's in my leg. It's right there. I didn't put it there. Please call my.
Well, how'd it
boyfriend.
get there if you didn't
I
put it
don't
there?
know. I don't know. Please.
Is
call
it David?
Yes.
The officer spoke to the boyfriend over the phone for a few minutes and eventually decided to conduct a sobriety test.
Can you see the tip of my finger?
Yep.
Okay, do you wear glasses or contacts?
Contacts.
Do you have your contacts in?
Yep.
Can you see my finger?
Yep.
All right.
While doing the test, the woman got frustrated and confessed to being drunk. So she was then taken back to the police car for a breathalyzer, which she failed. She would then be placed under arrest.
All right. Do you understand my test?
You know what? I'm drunk. Okay? I'm drunk.
Okay.
I just want my boyfriend. Okay?
Where's your boyfriend at?
You called him. I don't know.
Okay. Well, do you want to finish the test or do you want to stop?
Just stop.
Okay.
I just want my boyfriend.
All
I
right.
didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
As the officer began reading her charges, he thought this would be an everyday DUI case. However, little did he know, she was willing to do anything to avoid going to jail, and let's just say her begging was only the tip of the iceberg.
With these charges that you're receiving, there is no bond. which means you cannot get out of jail.
I did not do anything.
Well, that's a difference of opinion we have. Okay?
As the officers were getting ready to tow her car and transport her to the station, they would discover 2 bottles of alcohol in her vehicle, further substantiating the DUI charges.
Well, that'd be why.
Oh, gee, yeah, that would good, right?
Yeah. So now she's going to get charged with open container.
At this point, she knew with full certainty that she would be going to jail, and as it was evident her pleading was far from effective, she resorted to a much more unconventional tactic. While the officers were attempting to arrest her, she became violent, initially accusing one of them of sexual assault. She went on to physically assault the officer by biting him and kicking and hitting him in the stomach.
You're going to
Stop
get
it! Sexual assault!
You're gonna get an additional. You're gonna get an
Let me
additional
go!
charge.
Do you?
Let me go!
You're going to get battery
Sexual
on a,
assault!
You're going to get battery
Sexual
on a,
assault!
it's not
Let me
sexual
go!
assault. You're going to get another charge
No,
if you hit me.
let me go! Let me go!
Come back over here, put your
No.
seatbelt on.
Fortunately, she was restrained and taken to the police station, where she then continued to cause a disturbance.
You. Let me go! Let me go!
This would ultimately lead to her facing numerous charges, which included DUI, aggravated DWI, and 2 counts of battery on a peace officer. And while it could be argued that her intoxication had influenced her actions, this next woman would be placed on 2.5 years probation with a possible 2-year prison sentence for the dumbest reason of all time.
Put your hands behind your back! Put your hands behind your back!
Are you kidding me? Y'all some this! I swear to God!
Stop resisting!
I hate you, bitches!
Stop resisting!
I hate you!
April 13th of 2021 in Racine, Wisconsin, a group of local officers pulled over a car upon realizing that the driver was an individual with an active warrant. Officers had anticipated a simple arrest, but nobody could have expected what took place next. The driver and suspect, McCoy Jones, had obtained a car illegally from his ex-wife, violating a restraining order that led to the issuance of a warrant for his arrest. When the officers spotted the car on the road and pulled it over, they approached McCoy and removed him from the vehicle, placing him in handcuffs after clearly stating that they had a warrant.
Mr. Jones, please step out the car. You're under arrest. Step out the car.
No, he's not. Stop playing.
Step out the car.
Why?
Stay in the car.
Relax, stay in the car.
However, his new girlfriend, identified as Ashley Hawley, was quite unhappy with the police actions, to say the least. While McCoy was being escorted to the police vehicle, Ashley aggressively exited the car, despite being instructed not to, and charged at the officer.
Stay in the car!
Do something!
Stay in the car! Stay in the car!
Really?
Stay in the car!
However, she was quickly tackled to the ground by another officer, and as they attempted to restrain her and place her in handcuffs, she unexpectedly bit one of the officer's hands.
Put your hands behind your back.
She's biting. She's biting.
Put your hands behind your back.
No! Stop resisting!
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting!
She then began to shake violently, injuring herself in the process, requiring the intervention of 3 officers to subdue her.
Baby!
Just sit
I
down.
need you home!
Stay seated.
Baby! Please, I need you home!
Go home.
Baby, please! Baby, I told you! I wanted you home with me! I need you!
Upon realizing that she had been overpowered, she then attempted to fake illness and plead her way out of the situation. But by that point, it was already too late. When she realized that pleading would not be enough to get her off the hook, she then turned to insulting and threatening the officers as they prepared to conduct a search.
Kicking me and kneeing me. Y'all some sucking motherfucking bitches. I swear to God.
Hey, separate your feet. This officer's gonna search you.
Yeah, I pissed on myself. Bitch, rub that.
Rub it!
However, unbeknownst to her, the results of that search would only serve to further complicate the situation, as police had uncovered a needle in her jacket and a crack pipe and a bag of drugs under the seat in the car.
Hey guys, watch out, needle cam.
Is there a needle on you? No!
She has track marks too.
Armed with the evidence, officers would escort her to their cruiser, but she resisted entering, leaving them with no option but to use force to get her inside.
You guys already need me really fucking hard. Ah! You motherfuckers! I hate you pieces of shit!
After some time, the police had made the decision to arrest her, but not before ensuring that her injuries and the officer's bite wound were properly treated. Once all the injuries had been cared for, the officers proceeded with the arrest. However, upon realizing that she was headed to jail, she began to portray herself as the victim.
And they need me so hard, they made me piss on myself.
I'm sorry, what's your first name, ma'am?
Ashley.
Ashley? I'm gonna take some photographs of you, okay?
Why?
Documentation.
But the officers were having none of it. Both Ashley and McCoy would be taken to the station to face respective charges. And while McCoy had only faced charges with misdemeanor bell jumping and violating a restraining order, Ashley had come out far worse, as she would be charged with felony counts of battery and threatening an officer, resisting an officer causing injury, and misdemeanor counts of disorderly conduct and possession of drugs. With that, she would be sentenced to 2.5 years of probation and a possible 2-year prison sentence if that probation is violated. And much like Jamie, who ended up in prison for her unrivaled anger issues, this next suspect also earned himself a jail term, as he simply could not control his temper after assaulting an airline staff member and trying to punch a cop. On May the 31st of 2023, officers would receive a distress call about a highly intoxicated man who was causing a disturbance at the airport and assaulting a female staff member. When the police would arrive, they appeared to have the situation under control, as they greatly outnumbered the man, but nobody could have expected what would happen next. When the officers initially approached him for questioning, he began to yell and insult them, and even though he was at a clear disadvantage, out of nowhere, he had faked a punch towards an officer, to which the officer didn't even flinch. The officers, undeterred by his threats, took a step back and drew their tasers, instructing him to back away and face the wall.
You're not about the life, you're not about shooting people, you're not about nothing that has to do with a man like me. Go homie.
Hi, man.
What's up? I'm trying to get
back. Step back.
Step back.
Step back.
Sorry, hold on, babe. I'm gonna call you back.
Face that wall.
I'm not facing call the fucking
Charles Horse, step up. We got one at taser.
After complying with officers' instructions, they then promptly cuffed and detained him, placing a spit hood over his head for the officers' protection. However, this only fueled his anger, as he began verbally abusing the officers as they escorted him out of the airport and towards the police car.
Hey, bro.
What's up, Samson?
What do you want?
We gotta walk out here, boss.
What do you want me to do, man?
You gotta walk. Okay, so as of right now, you are gonna go to jail.
For what?
Public intoxication. That's what they've decided, okay?
When the realization of going to jail sank in, he became less aggressive and tried to manipulate the officers by claiming his mother was sick, eventually switching up by claiming his father was sick later on.
But can I talk to my people before I go to jail, bro?
Unfortunately, not right now. Once we get to the jail, bro, you can make all the calls that you need to.
I'd rather you guys fuck me up.
Samson, come on, man. We don't gotta go there.
Bro.
When he realized these tactics were not working, he started making threats, claiming that he would sue them, as the officers had ignored and led him to the car.
You know what? Bro, yeah. I'd rather Lambert. Mosley.
Samson, we don't gotta do that, bro.
I'm gonna sue you guys. You think I'm just some regular guy? I'm gonna show you.
When they reached the vehicle, the man resisted being placed inside, daring the officers to use force on him, which they gladly did moments later.
Come on, homie, beat me up. That homie. Y'all weak, homie. Y'all weak, homie. Alright. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You gotta take this way. Nope.
And after a short drive, they would arrive at the station, and he was booked into the jail, where he would face charges of public intoxication and resisting law enforcement officers. And while he could have avoided charges if he had simply controlled his anger, he still doesn't even come close to the level of anger and violence of this next suspect, who kicked and hit an officer while attempting to run away.
Step it up. Get down now.
On July the 18th of 2022, officers responded to a burglary call, and upon arrival at the scene, they would notice a car that was attempting to leave. So, an officer signaled for the driver to stop. However, unbeknownst to the officer, they had stopped the wrong person, but despite this, were in for a very eventful encounter.
Hey, stop the car. Stop! You stay here?
No.
What are you doing here?
Why does it matter?
Turn the car off. Turn the car off now. Turn the car off now.
When the officer approached the driver, she immediately became aggressive and tried to drive away, even though the police only intended to ask some questions and clarify the situation.
Don't ever forget that. I'll put
Central,
you
send
down
me a
in your
second,
photo.
unit.
Let me go.
Hey,
Let me tell you something.
explain to you
Don't
what
you
we're
ever
doing.
put your hands on me, and I
I
don't
am
stay here.
responding.
I don't give
Hold
a
up.
The police promptly intervened, made her exit her car, at which point she had snapped and began issuing threats.
Ma'am, turn around.
Stop
You're not
touching
under,
me.
you're not
I
under
don't
arrest.
care. You came in this hostile.
Listen.
Don't you ever put your on me. I'll
Under
spit
arrest.
on you. Stop.
Under arrest.
As the officer witnessed the behavior, he made the decision to detain her. And when she realized that she was going to be detained, she became extremely violent and aggressive, kicking and hitting the officer as they struggled on the ground, eventually freeing herself from his grasp.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Hey, stop. Hey, stop.
40 Central, have to step it up. Get down now.
The officer quickly apprehended her once more and placed her in handcuffs, but she still resisted and continued to threaten and verbally abuse the officer, despite pleas from her friends for her to calm down.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back. Get down.
I don't care.
Get down.
What the
Get down.
After several moments of struggle, threats, and resisting arrest, the officers were eventually able to subdue and take her into custody to face charges for battery on a law enforcement officer, but was later released on bail. However, the next suspect was not as fortunate when it came to securing bail, as she faced serious charges for kicking a female officer in the face. On June the 15th of 2022, a team of officers responded to a distress call regarding a potential kidnapping. However, when they arrived at the scene, they encountered something quite unexpected.
I talked to you and your eyelashes, you're fucked up. 2 days ago, I talked to her.
The woman had previously dialed 911, alleging that she had not seen her son in a month and believed that he had been kidnapped by her ex-husband. However, when the police arrived, her demeanor took a sudden turn as she became agitated, asserting that she had tried contacting them 2 days earlier but received no response. This would leave the officers puzzled, as they had no record of any recent calls from her.
I talked to you 2 days ago.
No, ma'am, you did
I
not.
told you everything that I needed help with.
No, ma'am, you
did
did
not
not.
help me with it.
If you want to tell me what you need help with.
Oh, no. Please don't. No, stop. I just had a surgery. Please.
Okay, let's talk.
Please.
Let's talk.
Please.
Let's talk.
Okay, we can talk. But don't touch. Don't touch me.
However, when they attempted to clarify the situation and inquire about what had occurred, she abruptly retreated into her house, closed the door, and insisted that they leave, declaring that she no longer required their assistance. After a few moments, she then returned, where this time she was full of anger as she confronted the officers, accusing them of wrongdoing. She had attempted to enter her house again, but was forcefully pulled back by an officer just before she could do so. This marked the beginning of an escalation, as she had refused to cooperate with the police, making their job difficult by creating a hostile atmosphere.
I'm dealing with my fucking attorney. It has nothing to do with that. But
So
don't
it's a child
ever fucking touch me again. Get the fuck away from me. And you too. I just can't deal with this. I can't. You're not invited. I already have everything. No, it's not funny.
After throwing tantrums for a while, the officers appeared to have reached their limit. They handcuffed her and began to escort her to the police car. However, when they arrived at the vehicle and attempted to get her inside, she turned even more violent and kicked the female officer so hard that it nearly incapacitated her.
Just ask me.
Have a seat.
Okay, we'll take care of everything you need help with.
I know you have no
Have a seat.
humanity because you a lot of people. You've been a nasty Yeah. To so many guys. That's kind of terrible. Oh, trust me. That's why you moved over here to Bureau. Oh, okay. Stop touching me. You're hurting me. Stop touching me.
Have a seat.
She's touching me. I just had a fucking surgery. No, she keeps fucking hurting me.
Get in the car. Oh, get back.
Yeah, because she's hurting me.
And with that, she would be charged with 1 felony count of battery on an officer, which in the state of Florida meant that she could be spending up to 5 years behind bars. If you enjoy true crime content like this, make sure you're subscribed to see more.